Hello, welcome to the channel and welcome back to Resurwreck Autos HQ. So, today, guys, we are working back on the Focus ST engine rebuild. Finally got some parts, bits and pieces for this car. Still waiting for some head bolts to turn up, but I have got all the other bits and pieces, head gasket, the stem seals, loads of bits and pieces, exhaust gasket, rocker cover gasket. So I've got all those little bits and pieces. So I'm just waiting for the head bolts, guys. But we can continue, start putting that back together now. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen here because I've only ever done this once before, way back when I first started doing this. So I'm a little bit more confident when it comes to mechanical stuff now. So I think I'm going to be all right, but you know, let's just see how it goes because this is not my job. I don't normally do this, so yeah, it's going to be interesting. The other thing as well, the red Fiesta, that is booked for an MOT today. Didn't get time yesterday to do that, so I'm going to put it through today, 2:45, I think he said. And we'll just see. I'll show you later how that goes. I know I spoke to Dave last night, and he wants to know, obviously, when he can pick up his car. So I'm going to get it MOT today, and we're going to see if there's any advisories. If there is, I'm going to do them. It's just standard practice for me to do the advisories. But yeah, let's crack on and get this head rebuilt. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, let me just quickly show you what I've started to get in. So you can see this is the head gasket kit, and it comes with the head gasket, all the these are the intake, these ones here. So you can see just to pop these out, and then you put these in. So you've got 4 of these to go in. You've got the exhaust one, which is that one there. Which is, I have saved the old one, but we will put a new one in, which is that one there, you see. So yeah, so you get all the bits and pieces for it. These are for the turbo and the thermostat, I think. Let's go through it. This one here, is this the one? Yeah, this is the one for the This is the one for the seal. Actually, what was sitting on here is the side casing for the engine, crankshaft seal. So that's what that is there. So you get that as well. We've got the stem seals. They're in here, and you've got 8 of each. You've got 8 green ones and 8 red ones. I think the red ones are for the hot side, and the green ones are for the cold side of the engine. Cam cover gasket, obviously, and head gasket. So, yeah, nice new head gasket. But we are missing the head bolts at the minute for this one. So, yeah, but at least we can start, you know, crack on with these seals. We can get these stem seals in place. Little things. I'll get one out and show you. So, yeah, so basically that's all they are. And you've got red ones are for the, like I said, it's for the exhaust side, which is hot. And you've got green ones in there as well, 8 of each. And you just set them into the head. Then the springs, then the keepers, then the buckets, then the cams. So yeah, there's still a lot to sort of rebuild and put together. But yeah, these are the old ones. I did save them, but they're the old ones in there. Like, so. But yeah, so there's still a lot to put together, guys. But if we just take our time, take it easy a little bit, and then we'll just it should go okay. But I just need to take my time with it. These are the new gearbox oil seals. Got 2 of them as well to go in. So possibly could do that today as well. We'll just have to see how it goes. And yeah, just take my time, take it easy, and yeah, just see how it goes. But I'm going to probably make myself a little space here so we can put the head on here and then we can rebuild it on there as well. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So I'll set you up. Let's get cracking. Let's start rebuilding this head. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, I've set me up a little area over here on the bench. So how we left it before was I lapped all these valves in, didn't I? And then we was just waiting for the parts to turn up. So yeah, I think I've showed you these before, haven't I? But you can see that obviously they've all been lapped in, nice, smooth around the edges. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some sort of piece of tissue or an old glove like that, and then basically I'm going to put this board back over with the 4 gloves in there to hold the valves in place, then spin the engine over, put it on the bench. That way the valves will stay in their seated position whilst we mess around on the other side with the stem seals and the springs and all that sort of side of it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do, because, you know, if I just do that like that and then do in each one of them, the board should hold it all in place, and they shouldn't drop out and move. I might put two gloves, one each side or something. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do there. I've got the tripod ready. I'll set you up. Let's get cracking and start rebuilding this engine. What a nice clean head it is as well. So yeah, happy days. Right, let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, there we go. You can see the green ones are in there and the red ones are in there. So yeah, red for hot side, which is exhaust side, and then green for intake, which is this one, which is what this plastic thing goes on there. So that's the actual stem seals in place now. So now I'm going to move on to the springs and the keepers. Now, this takes some time. I did see, and I did try it, but it didn't really sort of work very well. I did see another way of doing it. So basically, you put the spring in like this, you put the 2 keepers on top, you get something like this that can go around the actual thing. You push down, and then the keepers will sit on the actual valve, and that's another way of doing it, but you can't see what is going on. Do you know what I mean? So if I push like that, I can't see what is going on with those keepers. So yeah, it didn't really, I did try it, gotta be honest, but I didn't really like the way they were sitting. They did sit in there, but there was a gap. The other way of doing it is using that spring, how we removed them, which is this one here, this spring thing here. So it looks like we're going to have to go and do the same as we did to remove them. We're going to have to install them the same way. So yeah, that is what we're going to do now. So I'm going to set it up on the bench, and we're going to put it back on the stand, and let's see yeah, how that goes. So I'll set you back up, and let's now go for the springs and the keepers to hold it in place. And then once we've done that, we'll move on, get the buckets. You can see I've set the buckets up in the original places where they was, but we're still going to check to make sure. So even these brackets, these holders, they are in the same position. So it's all going to go back from that to this one, and we're going to see, yeah, how it goes. So let's carry on. Let's do this. Right, okay. Guys, look at that. So that is the intake side done. A little bit tricky. This does take time. You've got to really be sort of careful with it, especially when you're releasing the pressure on that spring. You've really got to sort of hold it tight, and you've really got to sort of, you know, don't let it go bing like fast. You've really got to do it slowly so it releases the spring back up, and then the keepers, these little keepers, they actually set in the right position. I'm trying to get them so that if you look at this one here, I'm trying to get them so that the gap either side is the same, but it's really, really difficult and tricky. I'm trying to do that, but yeah, it is really, really hard. But I think we've done on this side. So now I'll spin it round. We'll do the other side, and then continue putting this back together. So, but yeah, so far, guys, so far so good. I think I'm doing okay. I'm quite enjoying doing this, actually. It's definitely something different. It's you know, quite a unique trade or you know, thing to do. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. So let's carry on. I'll spin it round. We'll do the other side, and then we'll drop the engine head on the deck, and then we'll continue with all the buckets, and then the cams, and then, well, yeah, buckets, then cams, then do it up, then check the buckets are the right size with a feeler gauge. I have got one, haven't I? Because I use it quite a bit for getting the gaps on the cars. But this is, yeah, so this is the feeler gauge, and it gives you the measurements there. You can see all different types of thicknesses there. So this is what we're going to use to check to make sure that the buckets are correct. There is a tolerance. Basically, there's a spec tolerance for exhaust side and intake side. Let's get into that in a little bit. I'll explain that a bit later. Let's get these done first, and then we'll move on. Yeah, I'm running ahead with myself there, guys. I'm getting excited. Yeah, let me set you up. Let's do this. Right, okay, so there we go. Do you know what? That did take some time to do. Really, really fiddly, but it just helps to have a little bit of grease on the inside of the keeper and the outside of the keeper when you put the screwdriver onto it. You could just very, very slowly just sort of get it in there, put it in place, and then once you release the clamp, it yeah, it pulls it into place. But yeah, I'm well happy with that. Well chuffed. Like I said to you, I'm trying to get the gaps even both sides. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but I'm just trying to sort of get it uniform the best I can with the keepers. But yeah, using the grease definitely helps. So that is definitely a top tip from me or anyone that does this. That grease really does help hold, yeah, get it in place, but it's really fiddly. What a fiddly job. Right, now we've done this, we've now got to do the buckets, which are these here. So let me just see, right, that's that one there. So if I just pull this one out here, actually, let's do the first one, so I don't get too confused with this. So, or the front one. So if I pull this one here, yeah, that one there come from this one here. So that should sit in there like that, on there like so. So I'm going to put them all in where they should go, in the correct order that I removed them from the head. Okay. Then once these are in place, then I'm going to put the camshafts in place. So this is the back one, which is the exhaust. And this is the front one, which is the intake. So I've spun the engine around. It's the other way around. And then put the actual, these, I'm not going to use these ones, actually. I'm going to use the ones that come with the head, because it's been it's been machined, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to use these and put that over the camshafts, do it up tight, but not torque tight, but tight, and then with a little bit of oil on here just to help the rotation. And then we're going to rotate the cams and check the gap between that bucket and the bottom of the cam. So it's not that point of the cam, the lobe. Sorry. It's not that point of the lobe. It's the underneath point of the lobe. And we're going to put a feeler gauge, basically, between the lobe and the bucket and see what thickness goes in between the bucket and the lobe. Yeah? I've got to do that on every single one. And we have to do that because there is a certain tolerance in measurements, in thicknesses. So if you look at, I showed you this on the last bit, but let me just show you again. We've got these thicknesses, okay? Yeah, 0.45, 0.50, 0.53, 0.55. So there's a tolerance between each side. I think it's, I'll have to work out what it is. But basically, I'm going to get a bit of paper. I'm going to build it back up, get a bit of paper, and then get the feeler gauge and check every single one and write down every single measurement that my feeler gauge gives me on the buckets. Then I'll know if it's wrong or right and whether or not we need to change them or swap them or whatever. But I have got that set there is the original ones that come off that head, but I have got the other set which are here, and these are for the original head, the one that was busted, and these have got certain measurements in them as well. So if I need to have a look to see if I can use any of them, if any of these are no good, if you know what I mean, then that's what I'm going to do. So it's a long process, bear with me, I'll set you up, let's keep going. It has to be done. We've got to do this to get the measurement right on these buckets. So, yeah. But the chances of these measurements, so this one is, you see it's 342. So it's 3.42 millimeters. I think that's how I do it. So, yeah. Let's set you up. Let's keep going. Now let's do this part. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, let me explain what I've been doing. So as you can see, we've got all these measurements inside the buckets. This is the timing end, this is the intake, and this is the exhaust. So I know which ones are for what. 0.30, so 0.30 millimeters is where the exhaust ones are sitting, and that is perfect all the way along. So that's fine, but I have found an issue with the intake. Bucket number 4, which is actually this one here, I've just taken it back out. 1, 2, 3, 4. This bucket is actually 0.10, and it should be 0.25 mil of a mil. So this bucket is definitely wrong. We can't use that one. I'm gonna have to swap it for another one, and I'll have to reduce the actual thickness of that top head bucket and make that number in there, which is 462. See it? 462. So we've got to change that for one of these, and we need to get that gap with the feeler gauge. We need to get the gap the same as all the others, which is 0.25. So it's a little bit messing around, but I think with a little bit of, yeah, well, look, I've tried to sort them out into, this is like the thickest one, which is, was it the thinnest one? I can't remember now. But I've tried to get them in order. I think that's the, yeah, that's the thickest one over here. And this is the thinner one. So this is like 282. Let me show you. You see it says 282 in there. So, yeah, interesting. But, yeah, just a little bit of messing around, but I think we'll find the right one we need. That is the original one I took out. So I'll set you back up. Let's find the one we need. Put a bucket back in. Put the cams back in place. Do it back up, and then check the feeler gauge again to see what the gap is like. So yeah, you know, that's what we need to do. So I'll set you up. Let's do this. Right, okay, guys, I think I've done it. So this was the original one that I took out. This one was, the measurement is, can it focus? Nope. Anyway, I tried this one first of all, which was, you can see this one, look, it says 30.2. So I swapped this over for 30.2, put it all back together, tried it, and it was closer, but not close enough. When I put this one in, I managed to get the number up to 0.20. So, and then after 20, 22, 23, just started sort of scrap, wouldn't let me put the feeler gauge in. So this one was not close enough, but as soon as I put in the very smallest one, which was, I think it was like 1.8 something like that, but it was the very smallest bucket that was here. As soon as I put that one in, bang, it's perfect. So now, like you can see, that this is, see it says 0.25, and this is what we're looking for, 0.25. So now we've got number 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is absolutely bang on. So yeah, and 0.2827, it starts to not go in and starts to sort of catch. So I know that now 0.25 is all the way along in the intake, and 0.30 is the exhaust. It does take time doing this, but definitely worth it, because if I would have just chucked those in and this would have gone with it, and I rebuilt the engine with this inside, it would have caused all sorts of problems. It wouldn't have run right. So yeah, it's a good job that I'm checking everything as I go. But yeah, we're kind of on and together now. And I've got to be honest, guys. This now can be put on top of the actual engine block. Head gasket, head on, head bolts have turned up as well, so I've got them here, new head bolts. So now they've turned up, we can actually put the head gasket on place, put the head in place, and do the bolts up. So, shall we do it now? Time is ticking away, and I have got to go and take that Dave's Red Fiesta to the MOT centre this afternoon. So I've still got bits and pieces to do, and I don't want to rush this. I do not want to rush it. So let me take it all back off, because basically I can't get the head bolts inside now because the cams are in the way. But the buckets are set. So I'll take it all apart, put it on the bench so I know which way it goes. And then I think that's going to be it for the end for now. And we'll do the head gasket and the head on the block tomorrow. But bear with me. I'm going to strip it down. Let's do that first. Then go and take the car for the MOT. Bring it back. I'll show you the results on that. But yeah, so far so good, guys. Let me know what you think. How am I doing? I think it's going really well. And it does take time. It really does take time. But I'd rather spend a bit of time, you know, just going over things and checking things step by step, stage by stage. That way, when it goes in, that first turn of that key, it should just fire up and we should have a running engine again. So, let me set you up. Let's keep going for now. Let's do this. Right, okay, so guys, there you go. The head is all stripped off and down so that I can get the bolts. You can see where the bolts go. They go here, underneath where the cams sit. So the cams have to come back off, but I know now that these buckets are absolutely bang on where they should be and the right measurement for what we need. So yeah, these are the new head bolts. I just want to quickly show you, this is the reason why you can't use the original ones. So, I've put these together, and you can see the heads are the same, so they're lined up the same. Now, the two in the middle are the new ones. The two on the outside are the old ones. And you can see the difference where the actual thread on these compared to these ones. Look. And that's because these are stretch bolts and they as you torque them up, they stretch. So yeah, you know, these ones are no good. The middle ones are the ones we need to use. But I just thought I'd show you that because not a lot of people understand it or not a lot of people know it, why you shouldn't do it. But apart from, you know, this is our head gasket, so that's got to go in between on the actual block there. But apart from a quick clean from this face and that face underneath, I think we can put it on now. I've got about 45 minutes before I've got to leave. So I thought, do you know what? Let's just clean these two surfaces, put the head gasket on, put the head on, and then just put the bolts in, just finger tight. Don't torque them up yet, just finger tight, and we'll torque them up, and we'll do that process tomorrow in tomorrow's video. But yeah, I just thought, why not? Let's just carry on. Why not? Why stop? So that's what I'm gonna do. I'll set you up. Let's keep going. Let's rebuild this engine. Let's do this. Right, okay. So guys, another step forward. So that is the head gasket on in place. The head is on and the bolts are just done up hand tight until tomorrow, where we will do the torque settings and sequence on doing the head bolts up completely. And then just carry on and move on, I've got to be honest. And but yeah, struggled a little bit on the old dowels, I've got to be honest, on both sides of the head. But yeah, managed to sort of wiggle it in and get it done and on in place. So yeah, wow, it's definitely starting to come together now. Once I've done this part of the head and rebuilt those and put all the, you know, all the valves in, and once I've done all that sort of side of it, this bit should be pretty quick. It's just putting all the auxiliary parts, putting the casing on here as well. We've just got to put the casing on there. We've got to change this gasket here. We'll change that one out, pull that one out, and then yeah, we can silicone this in place as well. I've still got a bit more cleaning to do. I'm not really happy with all that, so I need to get a bit more cleaning done on the casing itself. But again, another video, which will be, it should be tomorrow now, I've got to be honest, once we get all this done, and then intake can go on, just build up the whole engine as much as I can, everything, and then it'll all go in one go, and it shouldn't then take long to turn that key. I'm looking forward to turning that key, guys. I really am, to see if it starts. I'm going to get some new spark plugs because one were actually broke. You can see it there in the other head, not this one. So I'm going to get some new spark plugs, and I think they're iridium. I'm not quite sure, but it's new spark plugs anyway. So yeah, but for now, that's it for the moment on this. Let me go and take Dave's red Fiesta to the MOT centre. I'll bring it back, guys. I'll show you the results on that. And then, yeah, I'll let you know what happens. So bear with me, and I'll see you in a bit. Right, okay, guys, I'm back from the MOT centre. Let me show you the results on Dave's, red Fiesta that we did. So there we go. all passed, no advisories. So this car absolutely is nothing doing to it. It's absolutely spot on now. So yeah, Dave can come and pick it up in a couple of days. I think he's talking about Thursday, I think he was talking about, or maybe Saturday morning. But yeah, at least it's MOT'd, done, and all been cleaned up. I want to make sure that it's all been, you know, it is still all cleaned up. Like obviously, there's a little bit of dirt here. So I want to go over that, just go over the car for him, just check that all the glass is clean. And but yeah, the interior smells lovely in here, really nice and fresh. The seats are like brand new again. So yeah, a nice finished, yeah, MOT'd. Right, okay, so guys, that is it. That's the end of today's video. I've done loads today. We are going to continue with rebuilding that ST engine tomorrow. Still waiting for some parts for the Scirocco, Volkswagen Scirocco that's outside that we started. So can't jump on that yet, but we're going to continue with this Focus ST build, engine build tomorrow. Yeah, and the first thing we need to do is find the specification to do up these bolts, these head bolts. You've got to do them in a certain procedure. Yeah, I've still got the torque wrench over here. So yeah, we'll use this tomorrow, get those bolts all done, and then you can see over here we've got loads of other gaskets, and that's the one for the crankshaft seal. So we've got to get that one done. That's the gearbox one. So yeah, we've got loads of bits and pieces to do. But for now, guys, that's it. That's the end of today's video. I hope you enjoyed watching me do this. I've really enjoyed doing this head, I've got to be honest, with all the little, you know, the little bits and pieces, working out all these, making sure these are all good, setting those into the right position as well, getting the springs in. It's been enjoyable for me, so I hope it has been for you watching. So yeah, that's it. We're all done. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop me a comment, guys. Give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, and I'll see you soon.